On November 16th, 2020, I suffered a heart attack. I was having dinner with my daughter and my granddaughter, and we had enchiladas for dinner, and I thought, ooh, this kind of gave me heartburn, and didn't think much about it, and came home that night, and a little bit later I thought, oh, that heartburn is back, and it kept getting more intense and more intense, and I thought, oh, maybe I need to jog, maybe I should do jumping jacks, maybe I should stretch out. So I started walking laps around our house. It went away, I thought, whew, got rid of that. And then a couple hours later, it came back again, more severe than it had been the first two times. I started getting pain down one arm and then down the other arm. And then I remembered what I had learned at the Go Red event. And I started Googling up on my phone, okay, what are heart attack symptoms? Maybe this isn't heartburn anymore. And when I Googled up the symptoms and realized, oh, check, could feel like heartburn, pain down one arm, pain down the other arm. And I just kept going down the list, check, check, check. And then about that time I went into a cold sweat, just pouring sweat. And I thought, okay, this is no longer heartburn. Think, what do you need to do? I thought, call for help. You need to unlock the front door on your way upstairs because you might not make it back downstairs so that whoever's coming to help you can get in. And I walked upstairs, found my phone, and I called my husband. But the funny part is I had made him sleep at the neighbors in the basement. He'd been on a little golfing trip and he'd been exposed to COVID while he was gone. And I said, you can't stay here.
The phone rang. I thought, what, this is very strange. And it was Elizabeth, and she said, I think I'm having a heart attack. Get over here.
He came running over, we'd had freezing rain that night, so he went skidding down the driveway. And then he was able to get in the house, and he gets upstairs, and we called 911, and they said, get her an aspirin, and I can hear him rummaging through the drawers. And he puts the aspirin under my tongue, and firemen were amazing, and they came upstairs and could not get the IV in, ended up putting oxygen on.
Hauled her down the steps and out on the ice, and they struggled to get her in the ambulance because it was so icy on the driveway, they couldn't get any footing. Once they did, they took off, and I followed in my vehicle.
I remember hearing all the communication between the crew in the ambulance and the hospital. Hurry up, you need to get here. How much farther away are you? We're getting the readings. You really need to get her here. And I remember saying to them, it's okay, I'm sure it's just heartburn. I'm sure there's nothing wrong with me. And then getting to the hospital and telling them the same thing. I'm sure, I'm so sorry, I'm taking up your time. And somebody finally leaning down into my ear and saying, no, Elizabeth, you're having a heart attack. It's such a good thing that you're here.
And they came out and said she did have a heart attack. You can go in and greet her and before she's going to the stent room. And I said, well, I've been exposed to COVID, so I don't know. Oh, it doesn't matter because she's just tested positive for COVID.
And it seemed like it was no time at all before they whisked me down the hallway. And I remember they let Tim in to give me a kiss before they took me in to the cath lab. And they put the stent in. I don't remember feeling any different after the stents were in. I have twin stents now. I learned later that it was 100% blockage on the right side. The next miracle comes right then where they come and do the ultrasound later, and the ultrasound tech just kept saying, huh, and I'm thinking, well, what does that mean? The doctor came in and he said, you have healed 6 weeks worth in about 6 hours since you've been here. He said, I don't know how that happened. You're good to go. You don't need physical therapy. You're a walking miracle. We don't know how it has all happened the way it has, but it went home right away then the next day. Well, I am so blessed that I had a friend invite me 6 years ago to the Go Red event. And then the next year I went again, and then I went again. And I never knew that those years that I have been going and listening to stories and listening about symptoms, I thought I was listening for somebody else. Never did I ever imagine that what I was learning subconsciously and consciously was really something that would save my life in the future. So I am very grateful. And I've since learned about all the things that the American Heart Association has done, that I was a recipient of those gifts as a patient now. I want someone else to hear this, whether they're hearing it consciously or subconsciously. They need to know that they too could be the survivor. I think women aren't aware. We're so busy taking care of everyone else and making sure, are my kids taken care of? Is my family taken care of? Are the dishes done? Are the clothes washed? Oh, I kind of got a little heartburn. It's okay, it'll go away, I'll go to bed. We need to be spending more time listening to our bodies and taking care of ourselves.
Be aware of the symptoms and take them seriously. Because had she not taken them seriously, she would have just said, no, this is just another heartburn event, and probably not even called me that night. Yeah, just take the symptoms that you're feeling seriously.
And ask for help. Don't be afraid. That was the one thing I thought that night is, I don't care if they think I'm silly, and if this does really turn out to be heartburn, it's better to go in, get sent back home saying it's a false alarm, than to try and suffer through the pain and end up not being able to make any phone calls later, right? It has really led me into cherishing every moment. You don't know if there will be tomorrow, and that's the biggest takeaway, is I keep thinking, what if there wasn't a tomorrow? What if that day had been my last day? The future looks magnificent. We're going to keep crossing things off our bucket list and keep having more adventures and experiences together.
Elizabeth makes every effort, every opportunity come by. She's gonna book a flight somewhere. So I have to be ready to go.
I've always enjoyed family time. That is what makes my heart sing. But now that I almost had all of that taken away, now I have a list of things I want to do together. I have a list of things we've always said, oh, someday we'll go skydiving. Someday we'll go hang gliding. Someday we'll cruise around the world. Well, now every day is someday. And what is something new that I can do today that I've always wanted to do? Is it playing Barbies? Is it making Mickey Mouse shaped pancakes? I don't really care. You know, things are things, and we end up donating half of what we collect anyway. We don't need more things. We need more experiences and common shared memories that we can have together for forever.